Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there in YouTube land. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. I'd appreciate you guys stopping by. So, I saw something today on Instagram that I wasn't a fan of. I did not like this, and it had to do with our beloved superstar of the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler, who, of course, is in his world travels now. He is done with his tour in China, it looks like, and is now in Sweden. And one would like, if this was the case, I don't even know if he's in Sweden currently, but if he was in Sweden, I would have liked there to be some concert going with Pelle Larsson, you know? Go say, hey, Pelle, this is Jimmy Buckets. Meet up with the Rook, just like he did with Jimmy Butler, just like Jimmy Butler did with Tyler Hero back in the day. But that was not the case. Not the case at all. And who is he hanging out here with in Sweden but Justin Timberlake? Yup, that's right. Mr. NSYNC himself, JT, hanging out with Jimmy Butler at some concert that JT was putting on in Stockholm. And they're taking pictures backstage, hobnobbing. And everybody may just say, hey, Tobes, what's the big deal? Jimmy Butler goes to a ton of concerts. Goes to Morgan Wallen concerts. He goes to Luke Combs concerts. He goes to a ton of concerts. You know, he loves music. And I would say, hey, you're right. That's his prerogative to go there and make that happen and go enjoy himself and enjoy his time off. Except for one thing, dude. This Justin Timberlake is a snake in the grass and is a minority owner of the Memphis Grizzlies. And I'm sorry if I'm not made a wee bit nervous about the idea of Jimmy Butler hobnobbing with old Twinkle Toes over here, Justin Timberlake, and talking about, I don't know, his upcoming season, where things stand, maybe looking for a destination with a max contract. You guys could scoff at this. You guys could look at all this and say that I'm crazy. But we just had a couple of days ago, all of a sudden, oh, Jimmy Butler in Brooklyn. Jimmy likes Brooklyn. He likes Brooklyn. And Memphis, you may say, hey, Tobes, come on. That's a market, not a big market, not a place for old Jimbo. Here's the thing, though, dude. And I know that they're not neighbors, but Tennessee, would that not be in the haven of Jimmy Butler, who is in the midst of completing some super country music album?
When does the country album come out? Because I'm very excited about this. I see you writing, and I know my friends at Kiss Country like, when's Jimmy's album coming out? When is this dropping, man?
It's coming fairly soon. I've been in the lab, basketball. I have been working on that, yes. But we got some hits. I'm excited about it too.
Now all of a sudden he's hanging out, he's hobnobbing with pop stars who happen to own a piece of the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm sorry, dude, but this is A1 tampering. I know tampering when I see tampering, and this is tampering. You may not think that this is blatant tampering in your face because you may think it's Jimmy Butler enjoying a concert. But when I saw it, it was the first thing I thought about. I was like, look at this guy hobnobbing with a minority owner who happens to come in with the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, calls up Mr. Big Bags. What the hell? The main owner of the Memphis Grizzlies. What his name escapes me. Robert Parra. Comes in there with Robert Parra and just does a little FaceTime and be like, because here's the thing. The Grizzlies are into an interesting season, right? They're going into this year. They're getting Ja back. They're getting Ja Morant back. No more gun shenanigans. No more shoulder injury. This should be a season where they return back to glory. That the Memphis Grizzlies are back where they were when they were looking like the team that was going to crush teams in the Western Conference, super cocky, 51 wins, a whisker away from being the 1 seed. And then it all goes to hell last season because of shenanigans with Ja Morant getting suspended and then an injury when he comes back. And they were awful last year, 27-55. They end up drafting Zach Edey. And one has to wonder, all right, are they going to just pick up where they left off? Or are the Grizzlies going to be in this scenario where all of a sudden, all right, maybe it doesn't go as smoothly as it did. You're trying to infiltrate this giant ogre Zach Edey into things, Jaren Jackson Jr., and you got G.G. Jackson, who, I remember lit the Heat's ass on fire last year when a bunch of guys, I'm like, who are these G League Grizzlies just killing the Heat? One of their worst losses of the season. But those guys did have better performances as the year went on. He's going to have foot surgery, so there's some things going on there. But let's just say they have a middling year, right? The Grizzlies aren't quite what they were, and you have Ja Morant, who is a superstar, and is like, is this core really going to work? Is this young core, this pool of great talents they have, Desmond Bane, Triple J, all the pieces that we brought together, is this really going to get us over the top? What if we need to go get an uber playoff performer star to bring to the fold? And that's not just Ja Morant and being at these things game by game in himself, that he has a guy that he could really rely on. Takes the ease off of a Jaren Jackson Jr. who can go and do more things defensively. Is it crazy to think about the Memphis Grizzlies putting in a little insurance plan and trying to lure Jimmy Butler away with some fodder about, you could be the final piece to the Memphis Grizzlies if Miami's not appreciating you? Now, I know this is very nefarious, okay? But I didn't like what I saw, all right? And then on top of not liking the hobnobbing that was going on backstage, you had Justin Timberlake out there, and he's doing the Jimmy Butler. Ooh, he's doing the timeout that he did in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago to Al Horford after Al Horford did it. He's on stage doing it to Jimmy. Jimmy's posting it on Instagram. I'm just supposed to ignore this blatant flirtation. I'm just supposed to just act like this is not happening in front of our very eyes. That this man, and if you minority owners, you may scoff at it, all right, dude, but this was a big thing when Jay-Z was a part of the Brooklyn Nets. They're like, he's going to go bring in all the stars. Now, he ended up with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, washed AF. But that was a big thing. We got the glamour team. We got the glamour team. And not only that, like, I don't know if you guys are reading in the, this Tom Brady, right? He's like getting a minority stake in the Raiders. There's all these rules. He can't go to production meetings. He can't go to practice. He has all these barriers that he has to go through. And meanwhile, Mr. Crimea Rivers over here, and he's flirting with Jimmy Butler. Now, let's just say the Heat and the Grizzlies just have years that are okay. I'm not saying disastrous, but let's just say playoff seasons, but don't go where they all hope. They're all at a crossroads, right? Jimmy Butler's sitting here, and we've talked about this. Like, Jimmy Butler doesn't have a lot of open cap situation options that he could go to. But could the Memphis Grizzlies, off a year where they were kind of look at the Heat situation and say, we want to get in Jimmy Butler. All right, who are you going to trade us for him? Well, I'm glad you asked. You fire up the old trade machine. Now, obviously, in a situation like this, we'd all want Ja Morant. I'm not a loon. I'm not here to suggest that Ja Morant is going anywhere. I don't think that that's the case right now. Ja Morant obviously probably feeling like he's got some make good to do with the Memphis Grizzlies, even at the mere age of 25 years old. Just turned 25 years old, Ja Morant, right? But is it crazy to think that Ja Morant's looking in and he's like, don't know what this is going to be now, huh? And he looks to his backcourt mate, Desmond Bane, thinks to himself, is this guy getting me over the top? Is that am I really sure? Or do I want to be paired with a real shark in Jimmy Butler? So, Miami Heat, they go and they give a little ring-a-ding-ding. You're looking at the Miami Heat, and they're probably like, all right, what piece would you want to poach from the Memphis Grizzlies to make such a thing happen? And I'm looking, and I'm like, the one that seems to make the most logical sense and would maybe put you in a spot where, like, if you're going to bring in a Jimmy Butler, speed up their win process, but you got to give up a young piece that the Heat are feeling like they're getting something. I feel like Desmond Bane is the way to go. Now, Desmond Bane last year averaged nearly 24 points a game. He can score. Strong, two-guard, put in the backcourt next to Tyler Hero, who can snipe. I think that would be something that, both teams could maybe kick the tires on. Looking at some of the social media following parallels, here's another thing for you. Doing a little snooping, Justin Timberlake follows Ja Morant, follows Jaren Jackson, does not appear to follow Desmond Bane. So if Mr. Suit and Tie is sitting here and he wants to wave bye to somebody, I would say Desmond Bane is the most likely character in that scenario. Looking at his salary, which stands at about $34 million. Jimmy's almost pushing 50, so you might have to throw like a Brandon Clark in there. But let's just say that Desmond Bane is the main piece. Maybe with some other things you could facilitate. You maybe make it a Marcus Smart coming back to the Miami Heat at one point. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, all right, perhaps this is an area where if things don't go, I'm not even saying go awry. I'm just saying they just kind of go for both these teams. Memphis doesn't have the year they thought they were going to have. Heat don't have the, Heat go and have another middling year that ends in the first or second round. You got to pivot at some point, and you got to look at things. And getting a guy of Desmond Bane's talent is not going to be easy for your squad, and you're not losing Jimmy Butler for nothing. Yes, he has a very hefty contract. I think his contract is, what is it? I think it was over 200 that he signed. Almost 200. It was 5 years, $197 million, which gets going this year. So it runs through 2028 when he's going to be 30 that season. Not old, on kind of the same timeline as Bam. Gritty player, got some offensive strengths to his game. He's got some ability that you're looking to add to your squad. I'll just, kick the tires on it. I don't know. But Jimmy Butler's out here and he's the one teasing me. Don't get mad at me because you're out here hobnobbing looking for max contract destinations. And I get it. It's the Heat's fault. They didn't pay you. I don't want to act like I'm angry at Jimmy Butler, but he's antagonizing. And he goes and he puts on, these are the 3 songs that he goes. He does his 3 songs of the day. And hard not to feel like they are messages right to Pat Riley's face. First one, Jimmy Butler puts up Memphis, which I don't think I've ever heard from Justin Timberlake. All right. Next one, mirrors. Like Pat Riley, look at yourself in the mirror for what you did to put us in this situation. And for anybody who's mad, his third song, Boo-hoo, Cry Me a River. Interesting. And then Jimmy Butler then also puts a picture of him fishing. He's just throwing it out there, dude. This could be something. Could be nothing. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and act like if this does all go down and there is some Jimmy Butler Memphis fodder down the line that don't tell me that old Tobes didn't warn you, that we all didn't see this coming by some Justin Timberlake concert in Sweden where he wasn't hanging out with Pelle Larsson. And you'll remember, be like, oh yeah, that's right. That's where the tampering started. And by the way, Heat, you're welcome if you do see some snooping around going. If you see Jimmy's agent courtside at a Grizz game next to JT, you'll know where it started in Sweden, dude. So just keep an eye on it. You got the Nets stuff. You got this Grizzly stuff now. There was something about the cheesing going on between these two that I'm like, something's up. Something's up. You don't think Jimmy Butler would like to be in country music land? I'm on to you, Justin Timberlake.